What's good, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of the Power 2 podcast presented by Get Defensive Sports Network. As you can tell, but maybe not if you're not following us on YouTube, follow us at
Why
YouTube
aren't you?
on Get Defensive Sports Network.
Period.
Uh, we are live and in person. This is not the triumvirate, the trifecta. This is the original
Original
power
power
duo.
too.
The original power duo. Because do you want to tell them why we're together?
Because we spent 2 days in Fort Worth experiencing women's basketball in person. It was euphoric.
Live and in person. It was one of the greatest weekends of my life.
Truly.
As always, I'm your host, Jordan. I'm here with my co-host, DJ. And this
I'm
is
wearing my
the
March Madness shirt. Y'all see it?
first.
Y'all see it? Y'all see what March Madness looks
Show him. Show him the
Hold on,
shirt.
hold on.
Show him the
You guys get
shirt.
back to the shirt.
Show him the shirt. You see that. You see that. You see the vibe. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Before the camera starts doing too much.
yeah, this
Um,
is our first official live episode. Hopefully something that we can do more often, but we do not live in the same place. So when we
Obviously.
get it,
Yes.
it is something that we have to do. Look at our beautiful setup.
I
This is
know. This
amazing.
beautiful
Like,
apartment, this beautiful lighting.
nice
And
little lighting.
we
A
are,
little
because
bit of
Jordan
it,
keeps complaining that nobody drinks on the show.
Yes, it's only
So
me. So we
we're
will cheers to women's basketball and
period.
cheers to our first live show. Sorry that
That was
Dante
loud.
could not be here, but
Yes.
it happens.
He didn't want to catch a flight.
No.
Anyway.
So, all right. So here we are.
Okay.
As the news. What are we talking about?
Let's talk
Well,
about the fact that the National Basketball Association for the men have had their
the
votes.
MNBA.
Correct. They have voted and they have approved expansion. So they are officially going to expand back into Seattle, and then they will be starting a new franchise in Las Vegas.
Everybody wants to be the women. All the women's sports are expanding, and the NBA finally decided to do it. I am partially joking, but not really joking, because I do think that they saw all of the money that were coming into women's sports. They also saw, this is also important, they also saw the most recent sale for the Lakers, which was an
Oh my gosh,
ungodly number.
huge number.
And the Celtics, which was a slightly less ungodly number, but was still more money than God.
Still more money than most of the planet. Yes.
Yeah, the mix of the two finally led to them, because they've been talking about this forever. Like, they've been talking about bringing Seattle back since 04, or even before that, when they gave the franchise to Charlotte. Because if you remember, Charlotte is now in New Orleans, and they got a franchise pretty quickly. And although we were young, but I still remember the conversation. A lot of people were like, so Charlotte gets their franchise, but not Seattle? The other thing that we would like to say that, they need to admit, or maybe they already admitted, because there's a lot of things that people are admitting and not admitting, the success of the Seattle WNBA.
Seattle Storm. That's the
Yes.
Seattle WNBA. Bless them. The Seattle Storm is a very, very successful franchise in general, like sports franchise in general. It makes it even cooler, obviously, that it's a women's sports team.
Yeah.
But the success of the Seattle Storm was something that Adam Silver himself did say that caused interest.
Like, we need to go back to see.
I think there's also a level of like righting a wrong, right? Because the Seattle Supersonics was a very well-loved team when they existed. Obviously, when they got picked up and moved to Oklahoma.
I mean, it's been 20 years.
It's been some time,
and everyone's like still wanting them back. Like, it is still the first point of conversation. Because there's no way to prove this, but I would argue that they wouldn't go to Seattle if there wasn't 20 years of pressure. Like, if the fans weren't screaming for it even before they even considered expansion, I would argue that there's a chance that they wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But because when there was no expansion, fans were like, you need to expand. When there was a hint at expansion, they said, you better come
bring
to
back
Seattle.
Seattle.
When it was like, okay, we're probably going to expand, they were like,
Seattle better be an option.
Better be in Seattle, to where it was literally a given that they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and also with Seattle too, there was a whole thing about facilities, right? So the part of the reason why the Seattle team even moved to Oklahoma in the first place was because of the arena that they were playing in. All of that has changed because of the Seattle Storm, because they have the Climate Pledge Arena. And now not only did the Storm play there, but the Kraken also play there. So they also can expand and know that they're going to get great facilities, which was a really big issue.
And while it's not, I don't think the entire goal is for it to be the bid to go to the same owners. That helps, because they know that owner is going to put in a bid. Literally, that owner, and actually the owner of the Las Vegas Golden Knights did the same thing. They basically just created a new like governing board
Mhm.
to like govern all of their properties together, and then that governing board is going to be the one that submits the bid. So it may be a little bit of nepotism, and it may
A
immediately
lot
go
of it.
to the owners of the Seattle Storm, and it may immediately go to the owner of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, which will be interesting though, because I don't. They haven't done the bids. Like we're just talking about rumors and things
You
we've
don't think
heard.
Mike Davis is gonna bid for the
It's you also
Mark?
it's that's what I was just about to say though. Like I haven't heard anything, but I would be surprised
I
if
don't know
Mark.
that man's name.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Mark Davis doesn't, because he has the Raiders and he has
And he has
the
the
Aces.
aces.
But
Yeah.
the one who seems the most ready for it seems to be the owner of the Golden Knights, which is the Las Vegas hockey team. For those of you who don't know, also this camera, like
The camera angle. There we
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, camera. This is
Influencers
gonna
in the wild.
yeah, this is gonna
Um
sound so crazy on audio, but like on the camera that we're using, like auto zooms and we can see it, and so it zoomed left, too far left. So
So, and you can see it if you go follow us on YouTube
yes,
at
you
Get
can
Defensive Sports Network.
stop playing
Subscribe to our YouTube,
on your phone,
please.
on your mom's phone,
On
on
your
your significant other's
iPad,
phone, your
on your
iPad,
child's iPad.
your work email.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Just
just
create a
get the
bunch
numbers
of
up.
Gmail accounts and
I have like 6 on accident. I know you have 2 of them.
you have at least
You
4.
have 2 of them, and then there's the ones in your family.
And right,
Not
exactly.
to support YouTube and Google, but if you have kids, you can make them their own Google account. So when they're watching all the little
Coco
kids
Melon or
things,
whatever it
it
is that
doesn't
they're
mess
doing.
up your viewing.
Correct.
You can then, put whatever the things you have to do as a parent, but you can create that for them and then follow us on theirs. You get the vibes. Follow us on
On
YouTube.
YouTube. Because we
Are
look
beautiful.
amazing.
Like, come on. Stop
But
playing.
and
Slight
obviously
flex.
with the Vegas expansion, I think that there's just proof that Vegas is a sports city. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody's confused about that. But obviously, with the success of the Oakland Raiders moving to Las Vegas, obviously the success of the San Antonio Stars becoming the Las Vegas Aces,
Yeah.
and then of course with the new NHL team, because the Knights are what, like 4 years old now,
Something
3
like
years
that.
old. They're newer.
Actually, it's probably older than that because time's a flat circle, and
Here we go
it's
with
probably
10.
like
It's probably 10.
yeah, it's definitely not 10. It's probably like 6.
The
There's
Golden
a good
Knights,
chance they came in
2017.
Oh my god.
It is 10.
I was gonna say 2019.
It's almost 10 years.
I was like 2019, a little smooth year before the pandemic. It is
Nope,
10 years.
2017. It has been 10 years.
Ooh.
The point is, and
Which is also
also
almost how long we've known each other.
I
So,
know, truly,
look
it's
at that.
the Jesus.
Uh,
Because also Las Vegas is kind of like the NBA's like unofficial 31st city anyway.
yeah.
Like they have the summer league there. They
The
obviously had the
tournament.
first tournament there because they don't do the tournament in Vegas every time. But
They
like,
don't?
no, I don't think
I
they
don't
do
pay
it in
attention
Vegas
to the
every
men's
time.
basketball.
Um,
Where'd they do it this year?
I have
I think that was in Vegas.
yeah.
Okay, either
Whatever,
way,
it
the
doesn't matter.
31st team is
They need to go to
Vegas.
Vegas. And also, I just want to make sure that it's very clear that just so you've heard all of that, that means that the NBA is expanding to Las Vegas because of Asia Wilson.
Yes,
And
I mean,
I won't be explaining that any further.
let's be honest, they're all going there because of Asa Wilson, because there was success, and then wow, oh no, Oakland decided they need to be there, and then wow, oh no, I don't know the timeline of all the other ones, but the Oakland
Oakland came in
Athletics,
2020.
yeah, the Oakland Athletics are also going there. They will be starting in 2028. We were talking about this.
Oh, yes.
I found it after I was looking at it. 3 years. They're playing for 3 years in a non-Oakland city because of how bad their
The
stadium was,
facility. Oh,
but they have
Jesus.
to build a new one in Vegas. So I think this year, no, last year was the first year that they weren't playing in Oakland. I think maybe they're in Sacramento, but they're playing 3 seasons in a temporary ballpark, not in Oakland. And then they're gonna start in in Vegas in 2028.
Oh, Jesus. This is a mess. So, yes, everybody's moving to Vegas because Vegas is the place to be. What does that mean for the rest of the NBA? Obviously, that's going to prompt conversation about conference realignment, which
Yes.
we've talked about already. The 3 teams that are the ones that'll be affected the most by it are Minnesota Timberwolves, New Orleans Pelicans, and Memphis Grizzlies are kind of the ones where
Yeah,
they
they're
would
probably
have to
gonna
be.
have to pick 2 of the 3. I have said it. I think Memphis and Minnesota make the most sense. New Orleans is at least close enough to like Texas and some of the other ones, and further down that it can stay west.
Yeah.
I
It's just the
think
closeness to the other opponents in the Western in the Western Conference, I think, too, because it's like New Orleans is so close to like their Texas opponents and like the
Right.
Miami opponents, and like, but it just makes more sense to be
And
for them to be
yeah,
West.
and you wanna limit as much as possible. The other things that they haven't talked about, but they're going to have to talk about is, like, obviously not just, like, what teams are going east, you have to put 2 in the east, but also how the structure is gonna go. If I remember correctly, because it is 30 teams, they do 6 5 league conferences, right? Like, it's like Central, North, whatever, like, they're in groups of 5. Is that right?
No.
So
If that's
how
right,
did
if that's right, I've never heard of that. I know the
because they're
Eastern
not.
Conference of the Western Conference because that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, but
Am
is
I dumb?
there's not rivals in between there? It's not like the in football, like the AFC North, AFC
No,
South.
no.
It's just straight
It's
15?
just West to West, West East. Yeah, yeah.
Well, then the question
Yeah.
becomes, are they just gonna go 16, 16 full table, or are they going to
Split it in groups
do,
of 8.
um, groups of 8 or 4, which is what the NFL
I
does.
don't think they're gonna do that.
4 is probably a
That
bit
feels a
much.
bit aggressive for the NBA. Like, especially because again, it's just been East and West this whole entire time, and there is no, like, real, like,
I could have
split.
swore there was, but, who knows?
He thinks of everything in the context of the NFL
I
and then
do, I
filters it
do.
down that way. The other thing too, and I don't think that this is anything that is anybody's confused about because they've said this multiple times, but Oklahoma City is of course prepared to give Seattle their history back. So that basically means that any players that obviously played for the Seattle Supersonics, but maybe have their history transferred over to the Thunder, like for instance, like a KD, like they would get acknowledged on both sides basically, and then whatever history was considered OKC history that's actually from the Supersonics, excuse me, they're gonna give it back to them.
Alright, there are divisions, just nobody cares about them.
There are?
Yes, there are definitely divisions. It is 3 5-team divisions: the Atlantic, the Central, Southeast, and then Northwest,
What
Pacific, and
language are you speaking?
Southwest.
I don't know what you're talking
But,
about.
like, nobody, like, clearly nobody uses them.
I know because I said it's just straight
But
east west because
but
that's how
my
I
thing
see
is,
it.
and I just this is so funny. I genuinely don't know, like, how it, because I'm pretty sure it matters in the cup. I'm pretty sure they start the cup. They're like in the things
Oh, is that how they organize the
but
cup?
I think so. But they've existed before. I don't think it really matters a whole lot for seeding. But my thing is, like, would the NBA really be the only professional sport that doesn't have that? Because it's in baseball, it's in the NFL, like,
This is why we don't talk about the NBA a whole lot.
because. Because also, if you are using it, nobody talks
I've
about
never
this.
heard of these
Like, I've
things.
never heard, like, Cleveland
Oh
Cavaliers
yeah, the
wants the Central
Western.
Division.
Don't piss
Like,
me off. What are we talking about? Any goddamn way. It's either you either make it to the playoffs or you don't, and then you got to play
yes,
in a
yes, yes,
bum
yes,
ass
yes, yes, yes,
tournament
yes,
if you
yes, yes,
don't.
yes.
Anyways, and now you got to play in the tournament if you're tanking. We're not even going to get into that. We are obviously aware that there's like these tanking, anti-tanking, whatever proposals
Ugh.
that nobody gives a fuck.
We will,
Respectfully,
and that's the thing that we try to do on the show anyways, because, like, the news will leak for like 7 months. For like certain news items, we typically try to wait until it's official. These tanking ones, we're waiting until it's
I
official.
don't give a
I
fuck.
do not want to
I
talk
don't want to talk
through
about
these
it,
things. Vote on it.
and
Vote
then we'll
on it,
talk.
and then we'll talk about it. We'll save some of the tanking conversations for Dante because I think
He knows more
he's
about that.
that, and he's a little bit more passionate about it. But
Yeah,
for Dante, I will say tanking is not the number one problem in the league.
it's not.
And
It's
as a
just
Colts
not.
fan, and for Dante, as a Steelers fan, I know we're switching sports
I
here.
was like, how did we get there?
Sometimes tanking is for the best. You know who tanked? The Houston Texans. And guess what happened to them? They got CJ Stroud.
And
You
then
know
he
who
took a
had
shit
a
all
really
over
bad
himself in
well,
the
you
middle
know
of the
who had
playoffs.
a really bad year? The Raiders. And they're about to get Fernando Mendoza. You know who tanked? The Indianapolis Colts. And we got Andrew Luck. We haven't tanked since. We are also being, like, tortured for our sins of only winning one Super Bowl with Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning. That is aside. Tanking is fine.
I mean, the Dallas Wings are about to get Paige Beckers and AZ Foot back to back.
The Dallas Mavericks traded.
We got Cooper
We
Flag.
got Cooper Flag. Like, tanking's not the issue.
It's not
It
a
actually is going to
problem.
make fans happier because you don't have 15 years in the middle where you're never doing anything. To
And
speak
also,
for,
again, that's just not the problem.
no,
This is not the main
there are
NBA
bigger
problem.
problems in the NBA than tanking. Let's start there. End there, because I don't want to talk about tanking anymore. I will also say, because we will spend more time on this because this is something we more care about. But as we talk about expansion and things like that, we are getting a WNBA team back.
That's not the news.
That's not on here. That says That's not on here. Can I not read?
No, because it says it right there.
Draft.
Exactly. We're gonna talk about it as a whole.
You're right. That's
Jesus Christ.
DJ's trying to steal my job.
I'm not. I
DJ's
am
trying
just
to steal my job.
sorry. I am. Anyways, because really,
So
speaking of tanking, and speaking of the right to
tanking your
vote, that
life.
right. Speaking of having a right to vote that he's about to lose, we have a
Ooh.
professional cornholer, which I just really need. I have an aside about professional cornholing. I will never forget that I was like out at a bar somewhere. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it's a Tuesday. I'm not even kidding. And don't ask me why I was at a bar on a Tuesday. That's not the point. The point is, I'm eating some chicken. Right. Point is, I'm eating some chicken. I'm watching sports, and I look up and I'm like, are these people playing cornhole on ESPN?
They are.
And this was like about 3-4 years ago because I didn't even know you could play cornhole professionally, but the people were really into it. It was very intense. There's like this one old black lady who's been like a champion for like years. She be smacking people up. She is so fucking good. But now, speaking of which, so that's how I discovered pro cornhole. How did you discover pro cornhole?
Probably a similar story. I don't
like
have
they be playing in the middle of the day at the bar.
Yeah, I don't have the distinct memory like you do, but it was definitely something like that. But like we all know about it now because first of all, of the most egregious.
Oh my god!
I like the way that they told us about this
is crazy.
I have to find the tweets that I put in our chat so I can read it exactly.
So while he's figuring that out,
it said,
we were minding our business until we got this tweet that said,
a professional cornhole player with no arms and legs has been accused of murder in Charles County. Why did you word it that way?
No arms and legs. I would like to just be there for just a moment. He's a professional cornholer. And I'm sorry, let's back up. If you don't know what cornhole is, because I know as a Texan, I'm very aware of it. Like in Texas, or probably a lot of like southern states, cornhole is like our casual like bar game. Like y'all are playing pool, we're playing cornhole, okay? Like, and it's basically two like flat wood pieces. They have a hole in it. You got a bean bag. You throw the bag at the hole, right? So, anyways, professional cornholing is that. It's just very, very intense, and they have uniforms and shit. And they begin sponsors and stuff. They look like NASCAR. It's real that, okay? So, professional corn, that's already a mess. This man ain't got no arms and no legs. He has none of them.
Yes. And
so
we know that
sport that requires your arm.
Yes.
With no arms.
Right.
And then now, because none of us had ever heard of him, because who's watching professional cornhole for real?
That is a good question.
He found out about who he was because.
And that is just like, listen, sorry to the family, sorry to that person. The way this news came out was so aggressive. And then the thing is, because respectfully, we all had the same thought, which was how?
How is he doing cornhole with no arms and legs?
So then,
also, how did he kill someone?
Yes, which was my thought. Because the cornhole thing, I've actually seen videos of him doing cornhole, and he like, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm actually trying to explain it. You can put like pads on your knees just because you don't want to like scrape them. He can like, he'll stand on his knees, and then just with the bag, you put your arms together, you throw it. Like that, that for me makes sense. I don't know how you're
He's
good
just
at
so good that he went pro. I think that's the part that's crazy.
I don't know how you're good at it, but like for me, that makes sense. But a lot of us were like, hey, how did you shoot somebody? And so someone being messy.
Mind you, we didn't know it was a shooting yet.
No, that is true. We didn't know it was shooting. So then the next one, which I'm gonna have to try to say slightly verbatim because don't remember exactly. It said Weber is accused of shooting and killing 27-year-old, not going to say his name out of respect, in Maryland before driving off with the body in his car. So then we had to say,
oh, he shot somebody while driving and he ain't got no goddamn arms.
And in the process of doing this, in this tweet that is telling us that he killed someone while driving.
A video?
They drop a video of him loading a gun.
A video is now going viral of this man not committing the murder, obviously.
Yes, of course.
But a video is just going viral of him, like, I don't know, like in the woods at the shooting range, whatever, loading a gun and shooting it with no arms and legs. I really just have to continue to emphasize the point that there were no arms and legs. Wow.
Hold on. Because we're live and in person. Wow, go to the beginning. What the hell?
Anyways, the point is Dayton Weber, that's the cornholer's name.
That is his name.
He is facing some very, very serious charges.
Everybody's got their reasons for being here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
He's facing some very, very serious charges.
Yes.
Obviously.
He's currently in jail, of course.
Of course.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if you saw this. There were witnesses in the car while this happened. He asked them to help him take the body out of the car because respectfully, he can drive and shoot
He
someone, but
can't
he can't drag a body
carry
out
a
the car.
body because that would be ridiculous.
They all said no, of course, as you should, and immediately called the cops, which is then why he drove away, and then the cops found him. So he's
100 miles
absolutely going,
outside of where
yeah,
he committed the crime.
he's absolutely going to jail because there are witnesses.
There's details are still not confirmed as
Yes.
to like
What
what the
happened?
conflict actually
I don't know if there will ever be details on how it
was.
happened, respectfully.
Yeah, it doesn't say what
But
it is, but apparently don't piss off a quadruple amputee. I think that's the moral of the story.
yeah.
Um,
They're also messy because they posted a video of him loading a crossbow, which why do you have a
what do we have?
like, yeah, and it's just like, why do you have all these videos anyway? So people are being messy. We're still trying to figure out how this happened. But on a more serious note, of course, sorry to the
Oh my gosh,
family.
condolences to the
Condolences to the
victim for
family
sure.
of the victim. Losing someone at 27 is awful, but there will be a lot to come out of that.
We will be tracking that
Yes.
live, not live. We'll just
Live.
keep y'all updated
Updated
on whatever the
as-
fuck that is.
Yeah, as we hear more.
Speaking of updates,
We have updates.
we
Always have
our
updates.
lives have been changed. So there is a specific reason why we were sitting here drinking red wine specifically, and I do believe that's because that's all we drank when we went to March Madness.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So me and Jordan, obviously we're here. We're in Fort Worth because
Live
that is one
and
of the
in
regional
person.
sites, period. That was one of the regional sites for the women's Sweet 16 tournament. Because y'all know we're not talking about the men's, but we do have something we're going to talk about a little bit later. That's not on the show plan, but we have to
No.
talk about the moment. But so how did we get here? Obviously we were like, oh my gosh, there's games in Fort Worth. DJ lives in the Dallas area. We got to
Yes.
go. So that was kind of how this was all born. It was at Dickies Arena,
It
which
was.
is an arena that is a multi-purpose arena, but it has been used for sporting events recently.
I would like to argue it would be a perfect arena for
The Dallas Wings.
I do think it would be. No one's listening to us yet because you haven't followed us on YouTube. But when from my mouth to God's ears, I don't know exactly where they're going to be. I personally do not love putting the W teams and the arenas with the men's teams. One, the arenas are sometimes a little bit too big and it makes it seem like there's no one there.
Yeah.
That happened to a soccer match that I went to.
But also, to be clear, that be happening with NBA games
It
too
do.
as well, because they
be
be looking
empty.
real
They do
thin in
be-
that
I
bitch.
have been
When Unrivaled went to Philly, that
That
young man,
out.
what's his name? Who's friends with Marina Mabrey? DeAndre, oh gosh, whatever. A male NBA player talk about some. Yeah, you know, we don't Philly. We don't even have it this packed in here.
No.
Y'all are the NBA team.
Yeah. So the stadiums are a little bit too big, but also like I went to a soccer game. There was 10,000 people there. It was the most people ever in the stadium, and my wife was literally like, "Oh, I didn't think there was anybody in there." Because the stadium was
It's too big.
So
Anyways.
this stadium, I think, would be the perfect size for it. Also, you
I need
also
to look
had
at the seat count
scheduling. You
because it
also
can't be
had
more
the
than 10,000 in there.
no, but you also have like the scheduling arrangements and the issues with all the other kind of stuff. I think Dallas, hear me out. This would be a perfect venue for them. Also,
14,000.
because perfect.
14,000.
Also, because the food. Listen.
Oh my gosh, we haven't even gotten to that. Okay.
I literally told DJ. I said I'm coming off the airplane. Airplane, and I said, I'm hungry. I know Miss DJ Eats Sports. I know we have to eat there because we need content.
Right.
But should we get food first?
And I said, I won't be doing that. But if you want
I'm
food.
hungry. It didn't work. And so I'm nervous.
Jordan was like, I don't want stadium food.
my first meal in the city is going to be in the stadium. We're going to be here for hours. What am I going to eat?
Apparently, we didn't have to worry about that because that was okay. So obviously, if you guys don't know, on TikTok, I do food content, but one of the things
At DJ Eats Sports.
Period. One of the things that I'm going to really be working into my content is stadium food and stadium food reviews, right? So we walk into Dickies, and I've also never been to Dickies. The only sporting arenas I've been to in Dallas are Globe Life Park, AT&T Stadium, American Airlines, and then obviously they don't have a lot of sporting events here, but like Toyota Center. So those are the event venues that I know. I'm not gonna lie, the food at American is not all that great. Sue me. Like the food at American, especially considering how much they charge, not all that great. The food at AT&T is really good, but it's Jerry World, so it's also expensive. So I'm like, we could get either like bum ass hot dogs for $20,
And I don't eat.
or I don't even have time to. I don't have time for.
I eat Italian sausage and stuff. I don't eat hot dogs.
Oh, we've talked about this
Yes.
actually. Okay, so anyways, because I was like, we just don't have time on the show to unpack you not liking hot dogs. You're American. The fuck. Anyways, now what I will say is I don't like.
Not by choice.
I will say I don't like cheap hot dogs, like
Yeah.
bar S. Sorry, I don't like cheap hot dogs. I like all beef. It's got to be an all beef hot dog for me at this point in my life. When I was younger, it was okay. I could eat the beef, the pork, the whatever chicken feet they put in there. Now it's got to be all beef.
Okay, so hear me out. To be fair, and we won't get stuck on this.
We will.
I could possibly eat a beef hot dog. I'm not sure I've ever had a beef hot dog, because when I get on my grill, the grill that I have,
The grill that he paid
I'm putting bratwurst on. I don't need the hot dog.
Bratwurst
So
is so dramatic. Okay.
bratwurst and spicy Italian sausage, and maybe a sweet Italian sausage, depending on if I'm inviting people, because if it's just me, I need the spicy one. And my thing is, I don't need all of that meat. Pause. I don't, because there's also going to be burgers. Sometimes there's going to be ribs.
There might be
There's
chicken as well.
probably going to be chicken. So when you go down the order of things to eat, I just don't get to the hot dogs. I could eat a beef hot dog. I will maybe try one eventually. I just know that I do not like the pork hot dog that comes in the packet with the hot dog juice that you don't want to get on your hands. Like I don't eat that. I genuinely don't remember if I've ever had a beef hot dog, because again, there's a hierarchy, and it starts with the spicy Italian sausage. After I slaved over that hot ass grill, I'm going for the chicken. I'm going for the spicy Italian sausage. I'm going for the burger. I don't get to the beef hot dog.
So in this time together, I've also discovered how much of a picky eater Jordan
Does that
actually
make
is.
me a picky eater?
You're very particular. So anyway, now that we're done with Jordan's soliloquy about hot dogs,
Well,
back to we walk into Dickie Stadium not knowing what the
yes.
fuck we are about to get ourselves into, and what a time we had. So right when we walk in, we walk into a concession stand, we see they have like these braised beef sandwiches, hot dogs, nachos, all the things. We're like, okay, cool. We walk around, we see, oh, there's another concession stand, and they have different things.
Every concession stand
Had
was different.
options.
I would like to remind you, DJ said 14,000 people. This building's not that big.
Yeah, not huge. Yeah.
If there was no one in there, just because you have to like move around, it would take you max 5 minutes to do the circle at the bottom. Max.
Yeah, to go just
Like
around.
it's not. It
yeah.
is, but and also the amount of food per capita is great,
Oh,
because they're so, again, not that big. There are so many. Like
each food option had 2 stands. Like
Yes.
they had it where it was like, because they had one stand that had like mostly like pizza, and like they have focaccia and marinara sauce, which I should have fucking got. But that was
Yes.
like, they had that. Then they had one that was like a bunch of Mexican food, like
Yes.
taquitos, nachos, quesadillas, stuff like that. Then of course they had the Americana, the smash burgers, the hot dogs, the whatever. They had one that was green chili grilled cheese with tortilla soup.
Why do you have that at a stadium?
What are these food options?
They had these were not the best, unfortunately. The review of those is not going to be amazing. They had seasoned chicken tenders, so like
Oh yeah, you could get them
like
dry rub.
lemon
Yeah,
peppers, chicken tenders, a
barbecue,
buffalo
whatever, flavored.
barbecue, whatever, which I thought was
Oh,
interesting.
fried catfish baskets.
Oh,
Oh my God. They
it
had
was
everything. Then Jordan, of course, saw banana pudding on the menu. He's like, we got to get a banana pudding. We'll talk about that in a second. I saw strawberry shortcake on the menu. I was like, we got to get that. Then we go upstairs where our seats are. It smells like the fucking fair. They up
right.
in there frying fresh funnel cakes, bro.
I am not like, okay, if I go to a fair, you have to get a funnel cake, but I am not like, I'm going to the fair for the funnel cake. You know what I'm saying?
See, speak for yourself.
I
But
know,
I'm
I
from
know.
Texas.
Right. So
Dallas
I'm like,
specifically.
I will eat a funnel cake, but like, a funnel cake is not going to change my life. That funnel cake,
He was a changed man when we walked out of
that
there.
funnel, especially because my thing is, it was crunchy.
It
Like
was
it was,
crunchy and soft. It was both.
it was
It was the
probably
perfect
the best funnel
funnel
cake I've
cake.
ever had in my
It
entire
was the
life.
perfect funnel cake.
Again, like what? Like please,
Mind you,
someone.
we're supposed to be watching basketball.
We are watching.
We were doing that too. To be clear, we
We
were doing that
looked
too.
insane. The
We-
people, like
We had so
the
much
people
food.
around us, we have so much food.
We were
And
like-
of course, it's a stadium, so like people are getting past,
And we're
so
like,
to get past,
picking
we're
up
like,
all our food.
we're like, yeah, you hold this,
Here,
and then I'll grab
take
these.
the-
I'll stand up, and then I'll grab this from you, so that you
And
can stand
wait,
up.
don't spill the
and
drink.
then What's
Which still happened. So that's the reason why we're drinking red wine is because the stadium had red wine available. $8 glasses. Oh, because we didn't even talk about the price.
Yes, that's the most important part.
I think the most expensive food item we got was probably $16, and I think that was my taquitos. Because my taquitos were like $14.50.
But you got like 4 or 5 of them.
There was like 4 of them.
And then the pizza was like 12 or 13. But it was a full pizza.
It was a whole pizza. So on the first day we walk in, we have to get food immediately, obviously.
I'm starving.
And the first game of the day was fucking 12:30. No, the first game of the day was 1:30. It was Notre Dame and Vandy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm already like, we need to get this shit and we need to sit our asses down because this is going to be the best game of the entire Sweet 16. Was I wrong? I wasn't. Correct. Right. And I'm pretty sure I said that multiple times. Like, it was going to be the best game. So we got to get our food and we got to figure it out. So
it was between that and the TCU game.
The TCU game was good.
Yeah.
But I will say the Vandy one was better.
It was better, but those were the two
best.
Which was funny because that was the first one and the last one.
Yes, we had to suffer through.
There was a lot of
blowouts in between.
It is so funny also as I'm learning about Dallas. The TCU stadium is like around the corner and they sent TCU to Sacramento. That is
very hilarious. But
hilarious.
Texas was there.
Yes.
That was a whole thing too, which we'll get into because we're going to be here for a second.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot.
Our first day food, I got taquitos, Jordan got chicken tenders with lemon pepper and catfish, and then we had the funnel cake. This is very important, because I feel
I tried the banana pudding the first day.
Yes, because I feel like as sports fans, I don't think it gets discussed enough the actual in-arena experience that sports fans have, and I think it gets talked about more. And you see more places or teams or leagues like trying to kind of enhance that experience. Like, I don't know which team it is, but they have like certain days where you can get like a soda, a hot dog, whatever, and everything's like $2 or whatever the case is.
I will say, like, any of you who are in or around New York, Yankees do some of the best stadium food. They also have decent deals. The problem is it's New York deals. So it is still expensive. I am not saying that it is cheap, but when we're talking about
in the grand scheme of how much stuff costs in arenas.
Yes, but also when we're talking about stadium experience, the Yankee Stadium has one of the best experiences ever. But unlike Dickies, which was also a very good experience, it is not cheap. So if you're going to New York, you have to know that. But if you're going to New York, whether you like the Yankees or not, I would recommend that everyone
just go and have some food.
I've taken multiple people to Yankees games who don't like sports, and the vibes are good, and the food and the drinks are good, where they've had fun. Like the
Yankees are entertaining enough.
It's just a good. But like Dickies, I don't know the next sporting event they're gonna have here, but He's
like, I'm a Dickies person now. Like, I've never been to Dickies. Like I said, stadium food is very hit or miss down here. I do like the food at CPC, College Park Center. That's where the Dallas Wings play. I do like the food there. The only problem I have is that it's a college stadium. It's not a professional sports arena. But College Park Center food is really good. They have some nachos that you can get on the second floor. You can't get them on the first. There's a second floor that got this white queso on it. Really good. Anyways, so we got our food. We did not like the chicken tender, so it is what it is. Catfish was great. Taquitos were stupendous. The salsa was great. The funnel cake, I think, set it off, though, truly. And then we were drinking red wine throughout the entirety of this experience. We did have a banana pudding. I am allergic to bananas, so I didn't fully, like, partake, but Jordan had feelings about the banana pudding.
It was some of the worst that I've ever had in my life.
Don't get the banana pudding.
This is like a cultural thing, and you told me this, but I didn't know it. It's one of those things that you know, but you don't really know. I don't make banana pudding. So I was like, I don't think Black people use banana pudding in our banana pudding.
We use vanilla.
It's like pudding with bananas and other things, right?
Yeah.
So you confirm that for me.
Yeah.
So that the biggest problem is the banana pudding was banana flavored. And for those of you who are maybe not Black or are just like don't eat banana pudding, you're like, of course banana pudding is banana flavored. Not ours.
Banana pudding in the Black community is vanilla pudding with bananas
and vanilla wafers.
Or if you're bougie, Lorna Doone cookies, because those are really good as well.
Yes, I am a truther of vanilla wafers.
The Lorna Doone cookies, we setting it off. I don't give a fuck. Those are really good. And whipped cream.
It is what is it called? I like the whipped cream, but my wife and some other people
like
do.
The Cool Whip?
No, it's like when you like whip egg whites.
Oh,
What's
meringue.
that called? Meringue, yes. Whipped cream or a meringue.
Yeah.
Either way, but it is vanilla pudding. That is the important part.
Yeah.
That pudding was banana, which didn't like that. And I'm someone who eats banana Laffy Taffies. Banana flavor is not always
it's not
an
a
issue
problem
for me.
But in the pudding,
that was bad.
It was too sweet. now we go to the next day, right? Well, let's
Yes.
talk about the games. So we got Vandy and
There were games.
we got Vandy and Notre Dame first.
Did we go for the
We
games
got-
or did we go for the food?
We were at one point. We were
couldn't
like,
tell you.
we were sitting there like we are eating food, and the basketball just happens to be on.
Yeah. What was
But-
the second game of? I can tell you. But you
UConn.
remember? It was the UConn game. We we missed almost the entire third quarter of the UConn game because we were eating.
we were like,
And
what happened?
we were in our seats.
We were
We were just eating. So we looked up
and we were like,
because it was close-ish at half. We look up and it was
They were
belt
up
to
by 20.
ass.
We're like,
And we're like, oh,
that
hold on.
well,
What?
Sarah Strong went on like a 10-0
Yeah,
run on
by
by
herself.
herself, which was crazy. We
'Cause
did witness the
That's my
Hannah-
cousin, by the way. Blood related,
Mm,
family. So stop
please.
playing with me.
We
This
did
is a
witness,
strong household.
however, the Hannah Hidalgo triple
Oh.
double with points, steals, and assists, which I just want to be clear because a lot of people get triples doubles with points, rebounds, and assists. She got it with points,
Steals.
steals, and assists, and also don't play on her top because she could have got a quadruple double
She
because she was
could've.
only 3 rebounds away.
She could have.
And Michaela, what the fuck happened to Michaela Blakes? Unfortunately, like, she couldn't buy a bucket. It wasn't because she wasn't trying. It
Mm.
wasn't because she was not up there. Now, granted, that last possession where she could have tied the game and she just lost the ball out of
Yeah,
bounds,
that
I
was
think she just
unfortunate.
kind of, at that point, was having a mental block.
I think that's one of the
But-
things of being so good, so young. Like,
Yeah.
and this is, to be clear, this is not, we do not disparage athletes on this show.
Especially
she
not women
is
athletes.
A star. Like, she is a star.
So good.
But also, not everyone has it to when they can perform that well when they're young. I am scared, terrified.
Oh, junior
sport
year,
next year?
Michaela?
I'm terrified for the sport next year, but it's just one of those things. The lights were a little bit too bright. Don't say it disparaging because she's fucking great the whole time. Like
She's in National Player of the Year conversations. Like she doesn't
Yeah,
suck.
like what are we
obviously.
talking about? But you also have to be clear that you're not disparaging people because so many people, especially if we try to clip this, will try to hate on her and women, and we are not doing that. But you also do have to be able to be.
We're
critical of
analyzing the
any
game that we
athlete
saw in
and
person.
organization. Yeah.
She just wasn't making buckets.
No.
And to be fucking fair, nobody was literally except for Hannah
Yes.
Hidalgo. I don't know if she spent extra time
They-
in that gym last night or what, but it seems
Hannah
like the only person who
had-
could find the rim was Hannah.
Like the ball to Hannah's hand.
It's like a magnet.
It was a magnet. That's why she got all the steals. And it's funny because I don't remember exactly what happened, but you missed like a couple
I
minutes
missed
in
the
the first
whole quarter.
But like
Going to get the fucking funnel cake. I was like, the third quarter is over? What happened?
yes. So you went to go get the funnel cake and you came back. No, that was the third quarter.
Hmm?
You something happened in the first quarter where you missed like the first like 3 minutes. And I came and I said, you
I
only
went to the
missed
bathroom.
you only missed like the first 3 minutes. Hannah already has 4 steals.
You did. I
Hannah
think he
already
said
has
she
4
got 3
steals.
steals already.
I said it's 3 or 4 because one of them I don't know how they're gonna count because she immediately stepped out of bounds. So I don't know if they're gonna say she
so
had
counts.
possession because like she's done this multiple times where she steals it and tiptoes on the sideline,
Mm-hmm.
and this time she stepped out. So I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna track that. If they counted it, it's 4. If they don't count it because she stepped out of bounds, it's 3. But you missed the first like 2-3 minutes of the game. She has 4 steals. Like what the fuck?
What is happening? No, and you honestly, and you know somebody is really, really great when Geno Auriemma speaks highly of them.
Yes. Gino was like, please, are you going pro?
Geno was like, is she? Because obviously they played in the Elite Eight, but
Yeah.
that was
And
the first game of the day.
The reporter asked Gino was like, "Oh yeah, you said that she's one of the best." Gino said, "No. I said she is the best point guard in the country.
Period.
Get me right. I didn't say she was one of the best. I said she
She's
is the best
best.
point guard in the country. And for that coming from Gino, that means everything.
I mean, you could die. Like, what? Then we obviously had UConn playing University of North Carolina.
Yes.
University of North Carolina gave them a good little
They
something,
did.
something at the
They
beginning.
did. They did.
But again, to the point that we're about to get at, when Geno did his first press conference, which was going viral after the first game, where he spoke about the fact that the NCAA, as they do, don't plan very well,
No.
including the fact that they put them in a venue with brand new rims. And he
Yep.
said, hey, TCU was right there. We could have borrowed the rims from TCU. And he's
Yep.
not wrong. TCU was 10 real human minutes down the street from
Real
Dickies
human minutes.
Arena. Now, I have to go back and look because the only thing I was about to say was I'm pretty sure that their rims come from the ceiling. But if not, that I'm pretty sure no.
Well,
I'm pretty
no,
sure no. I
but
think they're
even
standalone rims.
but even if they don't, everyone has standalone rims for practice.
But they do,
Because nobody
yeah.
practices on just the two.
On there,
like,
just yes.
and
So
a rim is a rim is a rim is a rim.
a
Except
used
for
rim,
the new ones.
right? A used rim is more ideal, and that's what Geno
And
was
this sounds crazy until you
saying.
watch the games. The way the
It was-
balls were coming off the rim,
It was
is
unbelievable.
insane.
It was
And-
unbelievable. At one point, we kept looking at the field goal percentages like, is that real? I think at
Because
one point I was like,
it was around the stadium.
Yes.
And you literally point to one, and
said-
it was like, that's not right. I said no. I said no. That number that says
19%.
Yeah, like that's right. Because AZ was
AZ.
AZ and AZ.
Oh, actually,
not
speaking of AZ,
AZ.
Speaking of AZ, I'm sorry, I'm on your ass, NCAA, because whoever the fuck you had
No,
as the
never
in-game
again.
host, fire
Never
him
again.
respectfully. He doesn't know how to say AZ fudge. She's
He
the
said
future
AZ.
number one pick
What do
in
we-
the draft.
That means you clearly never watched the draft before.
That means you don't know women's sports at all, or at the very least.
Or how to pronounce this.
Actually, no, because let me get in my bag for a second as an in-game host.
Please.
When you get a script that has names on it and you immediately read it and you don't know how to say the name, you either go to the coach or you go to the sports information director or you go to the marketing person. You go to somebody who can tell you how to say the names. But also, however, if you are hosting the goddamn Sweet 16, you should know who AZ Fudd is any goddamn way.
Because
Don't
what are
get
we
me
talking
started.
about? No, I think it's too late.
But you should know who
started.
she is any motherfucking way. But if you don't, that is what you do as an in-game host. That is so embarrassing for her, her family, and her fans for you to be the only person who talks to us in the stadium and you said her name wrong.
And then on top of that, no disrespect to other people with other names, when you listen on TV, there was a girl whose name is Istanbul. And you know why I know how to say that? Because the people on TV said it right every motherfucking time.
She was there.
Get AZ right? I know, but we couldn't hear the name.
Yeah. They didn't.
But on the TV copy, you could hear it.
Oh my God.
You can't get AZ. The potential number one draft pick.
Also, what I will say,
one of the most famous people who's currently still in women's
come
basketball.
out of women's basketball.
Arguably the most. No, it's probably
at the moment.
It's probably five.
Well, are we talking like class?
Currently, like right now, like who's right here playing this tournament.
They're both
it doesn't
equally
matter.
famous.
One of, if not
still.
the most famous person, you don't know how to say her name, dog.
That's crazy to me. I lost
and he was
all
boring.
trust.
On top of that,
I lost all trust.
The name. It was cut.
We
but then he was boring.
We checked out as soon as he said "as he
like,
Fudd."
bro,
We said,
"Stop fucking talking."
Get this nigga out of here. And it was a black man.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Boo! I'm throwing bricks. Like I don't even have tomatoes. I'm throwing bricks. Anyways, not to drag that man, but he was not a good in-game host. NCAA, hit me up if you need a good in-game host. But
they were combined 8 for 42.
It was bad. The
UNC
shooting was bad.
is a decent team shooting. UConn is a very good team.
They're the best. They were missing buckets. It was you know what? And here's what made me know that there was something afoot, right? We were watching the game, and Ashlyn Shade, if you guys don't know, she's a guard for UConn, and she's pretty much a 3-point specialist. That's really what she is.
Yes.
She does, but it also does take her some time to get hot. Like she's just kind of one of those players. She's got to get a few shots up, whatever. But once she gets them going, she gets them going. Ashlyn Shade could not buy a 3 that day.
No.
I was so
not
confused.
With her NIL
and she
money,
was wide open. She was
money.
butt naked as the day she was born with some of her attempts, and they just weren't going in. And I was like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. And I was like, yeah, it takes her some time to get warmed up. I said that to him. But then first quarter goes by, she ain't got no 3.
No.
Second quarter goes by, she ain't got no 3. Mind you, she had at least 10 to 12 attempts.
Yes.
She didn't have no 3s. I was like, something.
Sarah Strong, 0 for 5.
Crazy.
Ashley, 0 for 7.
Crazy. She only took 7? It felt like she took
it felt like she took a lot more. AZ was 2 for 3 from 3, but she was 4 for. That's right. AZ didn't shoot a lot of 3s, but she was missing wide open mid range.
She was missing.
She don't
middies.
do that. She
I was
don't
like,
do that.
She again, butt naked as the day she was
4
born.
of 12.
That's not
AZ's
normal.
a 50, 40, 90 player, dog.
That's not
she
normal.
was missing wide, and girls was missing layups everywhere.
They were missing. Everybody was missing layups.
It touched the rim, you didn't know where it was going.
Not a clue.
Like I literally think about I'm sure you've seen it. I literally think about the Dennis Rodman thing where he's talking about being able to read the rim.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, if it hits here, it's a fool. And if it hits here, it goes
it's like,
boom. If it hits here,
yeah.
You can read a rim. And most rims are the same. Obviously, there's a little give and take, but it's like you can read a rim. Dennis Rodman made a Hall of Fame career off of saying, if it bounces here, if it does this, if it goes woo woo, there was no telling on God's green earth where that ball was going. You ain't know if it was going in. You ain't know if it was going out. Shots that should have missed went in. Shots that should have been in went out. And it wasn't also just the rims. It was also the fact that they were using new balls. And anyone who knows anything about
puffed up
sports,
balls.
nobody does that. I will tell you
Oh
something
my
as
God.
a former equipment manager with football. You
Come on, equipment.
literally treat a football. You never use a new football. And when you do, there's a specially designed brush and you spend time taking it. And I promise you, we've done it. And in practice, we pull out the football and they'd be like, is this a new ball? Can I get a new ball?
They don't want
using
it
in practice.
Nobody
And-
wants to. You're playing games
And
that have
I
consequences with new balls.
I imagine that the NBA, that basketball has to be similar. We would always go to the quarterback.
It doesn't
and
have
it's
to
like,
be worn
here's
down,
all
but
of
it's
our-
hella bouncy.
Right.
Hella.
It's like, and football, it's because you have to throw it. They do wear them down. And every game, because you have to submit your game balls for check, we would bring in the starting quarterback and we would say, here's our collection of 20 game balls. These are all used. They've all been da-da-da-da-da-da. And however many you get to pick, let's call it 10, he would go through and he would pick the 10 that he's using. I went to Kent State. What do you think they're doing at Ohio
At
State?
Ohio
What do you
State.
think they're doing at Alabama? What do you think they're doing in the NFL? So it's just like, I know the standards may be different, but I know it's the same in all sports. They're not taking a baseball out the pack.
And handing
You
it
ain't
to the
You
pitcher.
ain't never seen pitchers throw the
They
ball on the
rubbing it,
ground,
they're
rub the
doing-
ball on resin, like,
Come
so for you to
on.
pull out fresh out the box basketballs
And fresh
and
rims. It's just, and here's the thing. Do you guys remember a couple years ago where they had to reline the courts because the
It was
three-point
short.
line was in the wrong place?
Yeah.
It's that type of lack of attention to detail that be pissing me off, because you would never do that with the men's. This type of shit would never happen with the men's.
And it came from Geno, which is hilarious because Geno is notoriously
don't
the
keep-
hardest on his team.
He don't take his
So
foot off
for
of nobody's
him
neck.
to
He doesn't
be
make
like-
excuses
For
at
him
all.
to be like, yeah, it's the balls in the rim. And it was, because we're watching. and it's
Everybody
like,
was missing shots.
what is going on? People are missing free throws. Literally,
Somebody shot 20% from free throw.
Like,
Did you see
it-
that?
yes, I
it was
did.
20% from free throw.
If it didn't swish the net, you were liable to miss anything. You
It
were
was-
liable to miss anything.
It was hard to
so
watch.
bad.
It was hard to watch.
And
After
it
a
did
while,
make the games hard to watch.
yeah. After a while, it was like, what?
It also made them like super low scoring. Do we have the tweet or the message where it was like someone calculated it, where it was like after like 3 or 4 games and they did it for everyone?
I think so. I might
don't know
have,
if that
I might
was
have
it.
favorited it. But while he's looking that up, so that's day one. Then on day two, me and Jordan are now coming in thoroughly excited about the food, right? Because we know we've been a great. I just thought it was so funny
Yeah,
because
there was basketball at our dinner. Well, lunch, brunch, because it was too early in the fucking morning.
it was so fucking early.
like,
Well, actually,
day
no.
one,
Speaking of dinner,
there
we
was
gotta back
food
up
at-
because we were out to dinner when we saw that bucket that Duke made that sent LSU home.
dog. I'm sitting there.
We was eating our chicken wings
Some of the best chicken wings I've ever had
in our lives.
Some of the best chicken wings I've ever had in my life.
Best
I'm
chicken
not gonna
wings
hold you.
in our life. We're
I
not.
cannot
I
hold you.
just follow DJ Eat Sports for all
Some
of our
of
food
the
adventures.
best chicken wings I've ever had in my. And here's the thing. No, what do you like to say? No tea, no shade.
Period.
To that girl, she's great. She's wonderful. I love her confidence. I love all the things. This is beautiful. I was so mad that you let her get that shot up in 2.6 seconds. You're better off tackling her and making her go through the free throw
Literally pick
line.
her up and throw her into
And
the crowd.
literally,
Like,
it's
what
funny,
is
I was
going
listening-
on?
I was listening to the women's basketball podcast that I was listening to, and it was funny. The coach was like trying to calm the players down. And I was like, it's 2.6 seconds. You have a little bit longer than you think. You can take a dribble or you can pump fake. And they literally like, she did all of them because she did.
She had
dribbled,
time.
She took a pump fake. She shimmied over. Beautiful shot. It felt like it roamed around the rim for 17 fucking hours. But you left her that open at 2.6 seconds. I was sick. But that is, again, no shade to her. Beautiful shot. Love the confidence, especially because she missed some free throws earlier in the game or the game before. So that was beautiful for her. I have the tweet. At some point after the first games,
Mhm.
all 4 teams shot a combined 18% from 3. All 4 teams were above 35% or higher. That first day, there were 2 games, 4 teams,
Their
a combined
percentage got cut in half.
18% from 3. On a
That's-
team that has AZ.
You know what I mean? And we're not trying to belabor the point, obviously, but I think it's just like it's a testament, number one, to the lack of attention to detail when it comes to the women's tournament. Because it's like Great. You picked a great facility, right? You picked a great
Yeah.
facility. You
Probably
picked
on
all of these.
accident. if
Right, probably.
else.
But then our first day, our schedule was the games were at 12:30 and 2:30, I believe. And then our second day, the first game of the day on a Saturday, mind you, was at 11:30 a.m. on a Saturday. Mind you, again, our first day there was a Friday. So we went to our first games at 12:30 on a Friday. Because if you guys also haven't heard, Geno has been complaining about the scheduling since
Yes,
who knows how long.
forever.
How do you, and he said this in his presser, how do you expect fans to be there when it's 12:30 in the afternoon on a Friday?
There was definitely more fans on Saturday.
More fans on
partially
Saturday for
because
sure.
Texas
But it's
was
because of
playing.
Texas. Exactly.
But like we were like,
it was thin in
this is-
there.
it was like, where are the people?
There were no,
like,
it was thin.
and it's because literally I got off the plane.
At 11.
I didn't even have time to change my outfit.
He
We had to.
fully went to the stadium in your
early.
airport fit.
The games were so early. Why? And part of the thing, and Geno talked about this last year, and he re-emphasized it this year. Part of the problem is that the women are at 2 sites instead of 4. Because it messes up. Because the other thing that they were saying is Geno was complaining because he was like, I had to wake up my players at 6 o'clock in the morning to do media availability because you can't do media availabilities when there's games playing, but they don't practice until 6:30 at night because there's games. So their schedule is like. It's like, why did you never talk
But
to
also,
the
he
people?
definitely dragged them and said, if they already did media after this game, what do you need to talk to them about
That
anymore?
again, yeah. 'Cause
And
it was the day
he's not
after.
wrong.
It was the day after the game. They were doing it to prep for the game the next day.
He's
And
not
he was like,
wrong.
what
Ask
could you
all
have
your
asked-
questions.
What didn't you ask? What could you ask me at 7 o'clock in the morning that you didn't ask me
At 8 o'clock last night. What are we,
So-
what's happening? And he goes like, does anybody in NCAA like check with the coaches or check with the players and be like, hey, does this make
No.
sense?
What
And
do
to
you do
me,
in the
you would
schedule?
think,
Like sports are so
It's
regimented,
dumb.
bro. Sports are so
and you would
regimented.
think a coach like Geno Auriemma, who's been in the game for 41 years, that's longer than most people have been alive, including us too. 41 years, you'd think that you would give a fuck about what it is that he has to say about this. He's done this so many
Yes.
times.
And the thing is, you have to make the decision now because the sites are
Picked
in
8 years in advance.
So you can like, although with the regionals you can just add sites in my opinion,
Yes, you can. I
personally.
agree.
You say, hey, I know we said
Now
this,
we
but
went
like,
to 4, so
but like
yeah.
from my understanding, because we looked at it, the regional sites are only currently up for the oh no
So it took 2030, I think, right? 2031.
20 yeah.
It's
So
in
like
the 2030s.
you can change it. It's 2030.
First of all, everything can be changed if it needs to be changed.
Especially because you're adding, not removing. When you remove sites, that's different. When you're adding, like, please,
Everything can
for
be changed.
the fan experience, because that's the other thing. I was able to come because I had a friend here, but like I'm not getting to Dallas on a normal basis. These year's games were in Dallas and Sacramento. That cuts off most of the country. Like if you don't live in California, and it's in 2 of the biggest states, you can be in Texas and have trouble getting to Dallas. You can be in Cali and have trouble getting to Sacramento. So it's just like when you do the 4, that's the other thing, because like the men's tournaments in 4 locations, you can get more people there because there's always one that's closer. Next year, it's in Philly. I don't know where the other one is, but it's somewhere on the West Coast. And the year after that, it's in DC, and the other one's somewhere on the West Coast. You're cutting off the whole middle of the country.
Coming off, and they've done that multiple times. Or they just be picking some stupid ass cities. Like
Yeah.
this year, I'm excited that they picked Fort Worth and Sacramento because those are more kind of like major cities.
Yes.
But like, what the fuck were y'all in Spokane for last year? Like, why? Where are we at? What? Anyway.
Yes, we cannot be here forever.
We then went to
Especially
our
'cause-
second day because
Yes.
we're going long already. We went to our second day and we were very excited to eat, but again, it was 11:30 in the morning. So for our brunch, we had
Pizza.
we got the pizza. I got, what did I get?
You got the steak finger with the
Oh, the steak fingers. Those steak fingers were delicious. That was the best thing that I had as far as like savory food. The steak fingers were stupendous. It came with mashed potatoes, toast. I ate the whole thing, which anybody who knows me knows I don't eat all of anything. Ate the whole thing. It was delicious. And then
the pizza was actually, it was
Oh,
not
it was
the best
decent.
pizza I've
The
ever
pizza
had,
was
but it was
decent.
good for stadium food, but also something that mattered to me. This shit matters to me.
oh Lord, it's
They
about
had
something
red
so-
pepper flake,
They did have red pepper flakes for the pizza,
which is
so it's
hilarious because they
necessary.
didn't have barbecue sauce.
They didn't
the day
have
before.
ketchup for the
They
fries.
didn't have ketchup
But-
the day before. They didn't have the souvenir cup. You were supposed
They
to
didn't have the
buy,
souvenir cups.
but they had red pepper flake, and that I needed that. I didn't.
It
need that.
was-
The pizza was
The
actually
pizza
pretty
was
good.
really good.
I feel like we didn't eat as much the second day.
No, we had our pizza. We had
At the
our
steak,
steak fingers.
I think
and
that's the
then
only
we
food.
had the piece de resistance, when I finally, because it took me a second to
We had
find
to
one.
hunt.
We had to find it
And it
because
was meant to be because it was the only one that they had
it
at
was the
that
only
place.
one they had at the
I
stand.
said, "Do you have this?" He said, "It's the last one. Give it."
We'll take it. We got our pizza and we've been looking for strawberry shortcake because that's how we ended up with a funnel cake the first day because I couldn't find strawberry shortcake.
Yes.
Got a strawberry shortcake and realized we weren't living our fucking lives right because that was the best, singular best thing I think we've eaten this entire weekend. It's got to be, besides the chicken wings.
Yes.
Sweet thing. Sweet
So
thing.
again,
Sweet
it's the
thing.
best sweet thing that we've had this weekend.
Oh my
And
God.
also, it is the best strawberry shortcake I've had. That was not my mother's. That was not homemade.
It was the best
fresh
non-home. If you don't get nothing else at goddamn Dickies Arena,
It was so good.
find you a damn strawberry shortcake.
So good.
Are you dumb?
So good.
It didn't make any sense.
Which is hilarious because it was as good as the banana pudding was bad. Like, I don't know that, like, the distinction between the two, I don't know how they
It was
figured
like
that out.
exponentially as good as the banana pudding was exponentially bad.
That was so
It was amazing. Anyways, then there was basketball, right?
Yes.
So
at our brunch there was
at the brunch
live
there was basketball,
games.
yes. So then there was Texas, Michigan first, right?
Yes.
No, they were the second game.
That was the second game. The first game was
you actually have it pulled up. Please, let's get it. Saturday.
It was
Louisville, Michigan. I'm sorry.
Louisville. It was Michigan.
Michigan was playing. Y'all know how I feel about Michigan.
Boo. And
football, but
we were a little late because it was at God's timing in the morning.
Listen,
and when we got there,
was
Louisville was up 10. Nobody was there, but Louisville was up 10, and we were like, okay.
We're gonna go get our snacks. Look at Louisville.
By the time we sat the fuck down,
what the hell happened with Michigan? It was a blowout still. The game was entertaining enough, but we're still dealing with the fact that most of everybody is missing buckets, and that just is not fun to watch.
No.
Then, of course, we get to Texas, and what was really cool, what I thought was cool at least, something that I observed is that Texas fans were there regardless. They came the first day knowing that Texas played the second day. They were there the first day with their Texas stuff on. They came the second day, and mind you, the stadium was never packed. To be clear, it was never packed. But you would not know it because it sounded like a home game in that bitch.
It did.
The Texas fans that were there, they were there.
Yes. To go backwards, sorry. Louisville shot 21% from three. Michigan shot 31% from three. This was not included in the stat where we said 18% because that was just from the first day. If we then go to Texas, Kentucky, to do that, Kentucky shot 33% from three.
They might have been the best. Yeah.
The best. Actually, funny enough.
But they only took like a few threes, right?
No, it was the other way. Texas only took a few threes. They shot 33%. And then Kentucky also shot 33%, but they took 15 threes.
Okay.
But even still, 33% is not good. Like all of these teams.
As a team, you want to be around there, though.
But all of these teams are typically higher than that. It's still lower, but these are the only teams that shot in the 30s. Everybody else was teens.
Because it's finally been used up a little bit. The brand got a little seasoning on it.
That is true. That is multiple games later. This was the fourth game. So you're right.
There was a little seasoning on the rim. Texas wasn't fucking around, and this is what I love to see. I said this in one of my review videos, or one of my preview videos for Sweet 16 was, I did not even talk about the West Virginia-Kentucky game, although it was really good. It came down to, one possession.
Yes.
Because I said straight up, Texas is knocking them out regardless, whoever it is. It doesn't fucking matter. And that's exactly what happened. It was really fun to watch, though, like the home fans. Madison
Booker forgot that them girls had family.
Oh my gosh, Madison Booker didn't give a fuck about their families.
I literally, it's funny because we had Texas fans in front of us.
Yes, they were so nice.
I was like, Maddie, her mom is in the crowd, and everybody around us was laughing. And I wasn't even trying to be funny, but it's true. She has a family.
And another thing,
did not have to do her like that.
Another thing we didn't cover during the news, but at a certain point, Texas was up by 20. Like we were already like, okay, we got to get going, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Another thing we didn't mention in the news, we actually had time to sit there and have a full-blown argument about this Connecticut Sun-Houston Comets situation.
Yes.
We need to talk about that. But yes.
We'll get to that as we circle back.
Yes.
But honestly, I will say,
in conclusion,
I know it is hard because they're only at two sites.
Yeah.
If you get the chance, you need to go to these games. If you like women's basketball, I imagine you do that because you listen to this. The last thing that I will say is they're very cheap. They are not going to be cheap for long.
Yeah.
I was happy that they were cheap because I was able to go. It shouldn't
tickets
really
for $40
because the men's are not cheap at all, right?
It's like $300 to get into the Elite Eight. It's crazy.
So It's not going to it's probably never gonna get to that number, but it's not gonna be cheap for long as people are starting to understand that these women is
Well,
like
it might stay cheap if they keep scheduling games in the middle of the day on a Friday,
that
but
also. But either way, while it is still cheap, if money is your concern, please go to these games. It is very even with the complaints that we had, it is still great. And hopefully they don't do the new
yeah.
rims. They listen to Geno, so the games will be a little bit better.
I think because we were just
But
trying a bunch of food, it cost us a lot. Like maybe it
yeah,
cost us like upwards of like close to $200 with like all the food and
but
everything
we
that we were
went two
getting. But
days
we went 2 days in a row.
and we
And
had to
also
eat
between
both of the
each day, I
days.
think we between the two of us ate drank an entire bottle of wine
Well,
each. But
we don't have to talk. We don't
besides
have to
that,
talk in that. We don't have to talk.
besides that, we didn't spend a whole lot as far as like if you go with a family, you got a couple kids,
Right,
whatever,
of
like
course.
it's gonna cost you maybe 50, $60 like once you get in there to like eat, drink, whatever. And then the tickets themselves, like they were as low as $37 each.
Yes,
So it's really truly like it's an experience that's worth having
absolutely.
if you can do it. I'm very excited to travel and do this and like go to other states and see how they
Because
do
we
it.
will
And
be in Philly in 20
we
like,
will.
respectfully and especially as a man, I do not often try to tell women what to do. That is not my place. I did text DJ and said, "You will be in Philly in 2027." Unfortunately,
That
we
is
will make this happen
we're
no
doing
matter
that.
what.
We're doing Philly for sure.
You only as a friend, as a business partner, specifically as a spouse for any of you who are married or get married, you only get so many cards to pull. You have to use them wisely. One of my friend slash business partner cards was "You will be in Philly in 2027" because that is down the street.
From
If you
it's
have
I
to
mean,
stay at my house, we can hop on the Amtrak. You are
we're
going to
going to
be there.
Philly. I'm going. I'm
Like,
already,
stop
like,
playing.
preparing my life.
But
I'm
like,
going because 'cause I've never
very
been to Philly, so I have to
awesome.
experience the
Yes,
city.
I've only been
I have to
once.
experience the food. I need a
I've
Philly
only been once.
cheesesteak immediately.
I went 2 for 2 in Philly.
What do
We
you
were
mean?
because
Food-wise?
yes, when we went to Philly, we were only there for like 24 hours, went 2 for 2. One of the places absolutely you have to go to. The other place, slightly optional because it depends on the time of day and if you want brunch. Both of them are amazing. And I say this, and you are going to laugh, and anyone listening is going to
Excuse
laugh
me.
at the food group that I say. I had the best black beans I've ever had in my entire life. I want to be clear, I did say black beans because nobody cares about black beans.
No.
They are an accoutrement. They are just an add-in. You throw them in your burrito, in your bowl, whatever. No one's thinking about the black beans. I will remember those black beans forever. I have never had black beans that good. It is, I know how crazy it sounds to say that. I could eat them by themselves. So we will be in Philly next year.
Okay.
We will be in Philly
This
next year.
nigga over here talking about beans. Speaking of beans, this has nothing to do with beans. It is time for the DJ's download because we gotta move
New
on.
segment alert.
Period. Welcome to DJ's Download, where I just talk about whatever's going on in the women's sports world at that moment because there's so much to be updated on. Today we're going to talk
The
about
first time
the
you've done that, you might want to like write that down. 'Cause I think it would be nice to have like a little
the same
insight,
little.
and that like first that
I
was
don't even
good.
know what I just said.
Well,
So
just listen back. Listen back.
I
That
don't
was
know what I
good.
just said, but we're gonna go
That
with
was
that as the
good.
intro. So today I'm gonna give you guys a quick little update on the collective bargaining agreement for the Dallas Wings
Hmm.
for the WNBA because I think a lot of people are confused. So yes, they had their hundreds of hours of negotiation. You saw the episode
Yes,
where
yes,
me and
yes.
Jordan broke it down. If you haven't, that's the episode right before this one. So
Yeah,
if you are binging right now because you just discovered us, go watch the episode before we break down the CBA a little bit more deeply.
we did.
However, the CBA was just verbally agreed to, right? It was just them in the rooms with their lawyers, with the people, having discussions and saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. Jordan explained this already, but basically there then has to be a term sheet that the players and the board of governors have to vote on. And then they have the lawyers come together, write the contract, and then they sign it, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
all
yes.
of that is supposed to happen by tomorrow, real time tomorrow. This is all supposed to happen by March 31st. So that way everything can proceed as usual.
It already happened.
It already happened. Was what
Very
I was about to
quickly.
say. The players,
Very
I
quickly.
was about to say, so they sent the term sheet to the players. 90% of players 90% of players participated in the vote, and of that 90%, it was unanimous.
Yes,
Nobody had
yes, it
anything
was.
to say about it. And then the board of governors just approved it about 6 days ago. So the board of governors is also on board. So we truly are just in the
We're here.
contract
We're
writing
into the
and
thick of it.
into the thick of it.
Hmm.
We're in the contract writing. There was just one cool fun fact that I really wanted to share with you guys, and then this will be the rest. That'll be the whole download, and that is the fact that the WNBA had they've been kind of making this joke. The WNBA had an ace up their sleeve because they enlisted the help of gender pay gap researcher Professor Claudia Golden. She is the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in economics, and she was their advisor
Well,
during this time.
because we love women here, let's be specific. She is the first female solo winner of
of
the
the
Nobel
Nobel
Peace
Peace
Prize in
Prize.
economics.
And she came to help the WNBA. They requested her help, and the one thing that she asked for is that they don't pay her. So this was
Like,
something that she did
women support.
pro bono.
Like, come on.
So she kind of is partially part of the reason why we had a 400% increase in
Yes,
salaries.
and probably, I mean, they were gonna do it anyway, but when you have someone like that telling you that you deserve it, right? And I feel like that makes it easier to stand on business. When people are telling you you haven't earned it, the money don't make sense, the numbers don't make sense. When you have again the first female solo winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in economics on your team, stop playing.
Period. So she worked with them on really kind of coming down to what those salary scales were. Like she worked on kind of like literally looking at the research and the information of like the average lifespan of a WNBA player, like how long do they last in the league, those sorts of things, and like really putting the research together to determine like, because again, I don't know why we're acting like these women don't have degrees. However, not every woman in the WNBA has a degree in economics, right? But
Right.
they do all have degrees. They do all have an understanding of business and how it works and what that needs to be. So she just came in as a subject matter expert because again, I said gender pay gap expert. And she came in and she slayed, and obviously we are here. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys. What I do find to be very, very annoying is that the article on Mail Business, which is a Korean economic article, they keep referring to her as he in this article. Y'all need to rewrite this. It literally says Golden is the third woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize in economics, but he is the first woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize in law.
I don't
That
think
don't
that
even
makes
make sense.
Okay.
Child, anyways,
Moving forward.
so the other two things, so the WNBA Association obviously reached out to Professor Golden. She said that she's received many requests, but she only accepted 3 of them.
Yes.
The WNBA is one. The NPR quiz program is the other one.
Interesting.
And the Boston Red Sox first pitch is the third. So
she's when you win the Nobel Peace Prize in economics, you can do whatever
you can do whatever the fuck.
Well, really, any Nobel Peace Prize, but in this case,
an actual Peace Prize that she actually earned.
Yes, by herself, on her own. So
not that was given to her by a friend or whatever the hell is
a
going
friend
on.
of a friend of a friend.
What?
None of that.
And anyway, so that is DJ's download. Shout out to Claudia Golden.
Yes. Shout out to DJ and the download, the first of many, and our power sweep segment. As we just talked about, because we segueing these motherfuckers.
The segues are seguing.
Once you have done all of these things, you now have W business to attend to.
And immediately, might we add.
Immediately. One of the main things being the expansion draft, because there are 2 new teams coming into the league.
Count them 2.
The Toronto Tempo and that Portland Fire.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm
Toronto,
so proud.
I'm so bad. I am so bad.
This is terrible. You need to get it together.
I'm bad with
the Portland Fire
names.
is
I'm bad with
that's a
resurgence.
Names. That's the same team.
It is. First of all, oh my God, we need to do because there's a lot of things that happen. We're gonna have to do a solo episode, like not solo, a standalone
topic episode
where we talk about just like we go. You love to do history. We haven't done our fun facts in a little bit. We're gonna have to do maybe we can just call it a full DJ's download. But we need to do one where we talk about the history of the W, and we talk about the 4 teams that are coming back specifically. We will talk about one of those in a minute. But that is the Detroit Shock. That is the Cleveland
Rockers, Portland Fire,
the Portland
Houston
Fire,
Comets,
and the Houston Comets.
And now we got Seattle Supersonics, and I mean we got it all.
Man, we'll probably throw them in there just because.
But we don't really give a fuck.
But like mainly like because I think, and I noted this immediately. They expanded, they did the things, they went to the cities that they had the business, that had the interest, and then this most recent round was bringing back history, which is how you get, again, the teams that we just talked about, and then, of course, which we're going to talk about here in a second, the Houston Comets are coming back as well, so I think that's a good...
Can't even get into that,
we
though.
love to do podcast business on the podcast.
Anyway.
But anyways, the expansion draft for the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire has been set. It is on
April 3rd.
Which is very fun because that is also the day of the Final Four.
It's also the day
because the schedule's too tight. This is not like it's the W's fault for planning.
This would have happened way sooner if they had just because if you guys recall, we just came off of a year with an expansion draft and that happened in December. So obviously we're not trying to have an expansion draft in the middle of everything, but this is the year that these teams are set to start, right? Yes. So the Toronto Tempo let's start from the beginning. There is an expansion draft. What is an expansion draft? It is literally what it sounds like. So these teams are going to be able to pick players from the existing 13 teams in the WNBA to build their teams. Now, what does that mean for the 13 teams in the WNBA? That means that they have some decisions to make. They have to decide which players that they want to core, which means that those are the players that they tag as undraftable in this expansion draft.
They
Each team
can
gets 5.
Yes, which is less than before, which was
They had 6 last year. They get 5 this
which
year because
makes
there's 2
this
teams.
even harder to do.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that you have to consider is, do you just core your starting lineup, right? Your 5 starters.
Your 5
But then
starters.
potentially you lose your bench depth, you lose some of the young players that you're trying to build. Do you not core a starter for one of those young players that you're trying to build, who you think has a future, but then potentially lose a starter? It's a lot going into this, but yes, they only get to core 5 people.
Yeah. They only get core 5 people. And then there was a coin toss. It was determined by coin toss who was going to pick first in the expansion draft. And I believe the Toronto Tempo won the coin toss, and they're going to draft snake style. So
No. It's
am I
opposite.
backwards? The Fire won the corn toss, cornhole,
Uh,
tossing bags, whatever.
Something's
The
being
Portland
tossed.
Fire, so I can fucking clip this shit. The Portland Fire won the coin toss for the WNBA expansion draft. They are going to draft snake style, so that means they'll get the first pick in the first round, the second pick in the second round, and then they'll go
Yes.
on and on until they each have 12 players.
Yes. It also means that they get the second pick and the college player draft, which is not just college players because it's international players.
Yes.
Because the way the expansion draft works, they typically give you the pick after the lottery. So basically what they did is whoever gets the first pick in the expansion draft gets
It's
the
second
seventh
pick or
or
seventh,
the
right. Second of the two of them.
And then the other one gets the first pick, which is 6,
Yeah.
but then they get the second pick in the expansion draft.
Right.
So
To keep it even.
Yes, Portland Fire has the first pick in the expansion draft, 7th pick overall in the college draft. It is 2 rounds. And the reason why it's 2 rounds is, I heard on the podcast I listened to, because we don't know everything. You have to learn from experts, right?
Mhm.
It's 2 rounds so that teams have a time to look at their rosters. Basically, they don't want a team losing 2 players in the same round. So each team can take 1 player from from each team, but 1 team can only be picked in 1 round. So for example, if
Can't
the
take 2
Portland
players from the Aces in the same round.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they do that to help the teams as they're figuring out what they're going to do and things like that. So it is 2 rounds. And they will finish with a total of either 12 players, or you can trade picks for salary for picks in the whatever. Like, you can do things, I'm pretty sure. At least you could last year.
And then what's really cool is me coughing.
Yes.
What's really cool is that they can select from teams potential unrestricted free agents,
Mhm.
and then they can offer them the Supermax. So think like Arike Ogunbowale, who I was saying at the time, I was like,
Is
oh,
going to
she's
be
going to go to the Aces. Well, really, she's going to be a fantastic pick in the expansion draft, and then
Yes.
they're going to be able to offer her Supermax. So a lot of people are already projecting that the Portland Fire is going to probably pick her
'Cause why
first
wouldn't you?
and build their team around her, which
She's
makes the
young,
most
she's a
sense.
she's a
She's a really great free agency.
Right.
She's a really, really great, expansion draft pick. Asray Stevens is in the conversation
Yeah.
for an expansion draft pick. We have a lot of like the international players like Vandalissini and those girls
Mhm.
also being in conversation. A lot of Valkyries players in
Yeah.
conversation, which I think is funny because they just
Because
obviously.
they did a really good job, which is funny because
Yeah.
even myself was like, what are they doing with their draft strategy? But I think this is important because the Valkyries were not able to do this, like, as this is part of like a new CBA thing. So it's huge because, like in the NBA, you can only supermax if you own the player's rights. So basically, without them adding this rule, they would not have been able to supermax.
Supermax.
So I think it's a really cool thing that they're able to do that, which means unless Dallas changes their mind about Enrique,
Well, really,
is
it's more if
going to
Enrique
most
changes her
likely
mind about Dallas, if we're being honest.
that too. Yes.
Yeah, I think at this point it's becoming very obvious and clear, which is perfectly fine, that Dallas is obviously going to move in the direction of Paige Beckers. I don't think Dallas anticipated getting a number 1 draft pick.
No. But when
At this
Paige is
time,
there, it's like,
exactly. I
no
don't think
disrespect to Enrique, but
no disrespect to Enrique at all. I think that Dallas was a playoff. To be clear, Dallas was a playoff team the year before Angel and Caitlin got drafted. They were a playoff team, right? So just in the space of time between Angel and Caitlin getting drafted, Dallas went from a playoff team to getting a first round pick. Like, this was getting the number 1 draft pick. Like, this was, I don't think, a part of Dallas's plan at all. Enrique Iguodala is a great player to build around, but when you get a Paige Beckers, respectfully. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately.
But also, it's not to say, I mean, I think Enrique is going to thrive somewhere else. Truly, I don't think Dallas really was the team for her anyway, because even when she was here, I felt like they weren't doing enough to build around her. So, anyways, there's a new GM in Dallas. We know this. He used to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Sparks. I can't think of his name right now for some reason, but we'll see. Also, Dallas is a new coaching staff, so this is very exciting. None of this matters. Anyways, the point is the WNBA draft is on Friday, April 3rd. It will be broadcast nationally on ESPN, which is different from last year. I think last year we were just getting updates on Twitter. There wasn't a real,
No, I think it was.
I don't think there was a real production around it. Not in the same way that it
You might
was
be right.
this year.
I don't remember.
There's a production around it. You're going to have multiple televisions because you will
Yes.
also be watching the Elite Eight. Excuse me, you'll be watching the Final Four.
Which
and we'll be watching
goes
this.
into our next segment.
You know? So anything else in the expansion draft? I think that's pretty much
No,
it.
I think that's it.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be a time.
So speaking of the Final Four, our screenplay is super easy. If we get this up in time, you should be watching on Monday the last 2 games of the Elite Eight.
Which are TCU and South Carolina.
Oh.
TCU and South Carolina. I'm okay. Obviously, I predicted this in my bracket, so like I had to be prepared for it. But I'm just not emotionally like.
I'm not as into TCU as you are.
I'm
but
into Olivia Miles.
I am most upset.
To be clear,
that
I won't be rooting for TCU after this. I am into Olivia Miles, and I do like me some Marta Suarez. But
I am most upset that we are not getting South Carolina UConn in the national championship game because it's not possible. At best, it is a Final
it's the
Four
Final
game.
Four.
And then the second game is
it's Michigan and Texas. So Texas, CU in the Final Four.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in case this does not go up, our official screenplay is the Final Four on April 3rd.
Friday, April 3rd.
And because they alternated this time, so we don't have any of the matchups. It is going to be UConn versus the winner of South Carolina TCU, and then it will be Duke,
UCLA versus the winner of Texas Michigan
versus
because so we're really at a point where we are posed for an all number 1 seed,
which hasn't happened in a while.
Hasn't happened,
but
in
it happened last year in the men's side, and the men's side happened for like the first time in like 30, 40 years, whatever. But yes, you should be watching the Final Four on April 3rd. You should also then be watching the national championship, which is on the
4th.
There's no way it's back-to-back days.
5th. On the 5th at 2:30 p.m. on a Sunday. So it is at 2:30 p.m. on a Sunday.
You didn't hear that, because if I hear that, I'm going to get pissed off. I am going to switch off of that because we mentioned all number 1s in the men, and this is our time to give the men a sliver, a tiny sliver, and
3 minutes,
and it's only because it was historic.
It was crazy.
I'm sorry because we didn't talk about this. Our joint last 2-minute report is going to be the mother.
What is that child's name? We need to look up his name. What is that child's name?
I'm going to set the scene. So
God.
So here's the scene. As you can see, I'm still in Dallas. I'm in Dallas on a Monday. That was not intentional. I was supposed to be going home yesterday. TSA does not love me.
Right.
So I'm in the airport, and I'm like, hey, my flight keeps getting moved. I'm not going to get home until like 2 a.m. I'm scared it's going to get canceled. Can you pick me up? Can we figure out a place for me to stay? Can we figure out something? Because I can't be in this airport all day. So,
mind you, I had rehearsals, so I was like,
work. getting to her coin. DJ being a great friend that she is, she says, yes, I will come back. I will waste my gas and my time to pick you up from the airport. We leave the airport.
We are driving out of the airport.
All of this is important. We have to hit the stupidest U-turn to get out of the airport because DFW is so fucking large.
Feel lucky that you've never had to drive through that airport.
DJ is driving, being safe as she should be. I'm holding the phone with the sound on, trying to watch this game. And I'm looking, and I'm like, hold on, they keep coming back. DJ's texting me.
Because I looked at the score, and I'm like, it's 58-30. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? DJ's like, the girls are coming back, the girls are coming back. I'm like, DJ, the boys are coming back. So we are in the car trying to figure out how the fuck to get out of the airport. And then
now, mind you, at this point, the Duke game is within its last minute, literally.
Yes.
So we're hearing this over the speaker of the sound. I'm also pissed off at the GPS because I don't know what the fuck's going on.
But nobody knows where we're going.
Right. And at this point, we see old boy missing free throws, and we're like, oh shit.
All right, hold on.
We don't know what's going on. So the last couple plays that we were listening to and witnessing was, obviously there was a foul. It was on Cam Bozer. So then Silas Damari Jr. goes up and he misses a free throw. And at this
That
point,
was tough.
Duke is down 1. It's 72-71 at this
Yes,
point, right?
because the free throws would have tied it. And so now the conversation is, do you make it with not a whole lot of time left, or do you miss it and
Duke
try
is
to get the
down
ball
3.
back?
Duke is down 3. They had 69 points. It was 69-72. He misses the first free throw. God bless him. Then, bless his heart, he makes the second one. So now they're only down by 1 possession. Cool. Period. Caden Boozer? Boozer. This is how you know I don't watch men's basketball. Turns the fucking ball over.
Which we will talk about eventually, because you need to know the father, Carlos Boozer.
I know who he is.
Yes, but so Caden Boozer, who, as we've talked about, and no disrespect to him, he is the twin of Cam Boozer, who is in the pick,
the better
#1
player of the two. Yeah.
So,
but not by a large margin, right? Because they're both also D1 Duke players.
Yes, which is not the case with the Flagg family. Again, respect to them. So here's the thing: Dan Hurley, I will not defend a white man ever. Dan Hurley gets a lot of talk about his antics, his being fired up, especially.
Did you see the video of him eyeing down the ref?
Yeah. So especially he wins back-to-back national championships in 2023-24. He loses in, I think, the Elite 8 last year. He goes on this rant. He says this, that's how we know it. Geno, Steve Kerr, a couple of people hey, dog, you need to chill. Mm-hmm. You are doing too much. You are too fiery. You need to relax. And so he has a whole lot of things with his antics, whatever. The reason why I bring this up is because while you may or may not like him because he does some things we don't like, he is a very good coach. He goes, there's 10 seconds left. Most people are going to foul. He says, I want to give pressure in case they make a mistake. At a certain point, we're going to have to foul. We do know this, but I want to give them pressure in case they make a mistake. I want to say that because there are not a lot of coaches I think that would have the stones to do this. They press, the ball comes in, they make a
10 seconds left in the game, and we're why aren't they fouling?
Literally, we're in the car trying to figure out what the fuck to go. Why aren't they fouling? Caden Boozer, and I feel so bad for him.
Me too.
He literally was I ruined our goals. That is such a tough statement for a fucking 18-year-old. I feel so bad for him because I see what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
He's I have 2 wide open people. He's and he thought about it. He said it. He's if I throw it to them, it's either a dunk we win or they're going to have to foul our best free throw shooter on the team. So I get the thought process.
There was logic. He did it,
but he throws it up. He throws it up. They block it.
Alex Caravan pulls that shit out of the fucking air.
No, that's not him.
Alex is not the one who got it?
That's not who made it.
No, he doesn't make it, but I know.
No, it's still him. So,
Alex Caravan pulls it out the air, then gives it to Braylon Mullins.
That's not what happened. Braylon Mullins pulls it out of the air. He is their superstar 3-point shooter, but he hasn't made a shot all fucking game. He passes the ball to Caravan because we have to say this also. They were 1 of 18 from 3.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
They made 4 threes in the fourth quarter to get back and then ultimately win the game, but they were 1 of 18. The freshman Mullins, he's I haven't made a shot all game. Caravan, who is their super senior, who's been in the Final Fours every year, that they've been 2 national championships. He had made one, so the freshman's I threw it to him because he's the only one that's made a 3 all fucking game, basically. But the super senior, being who he is, being a leader, being a nice guy, he's I had fucking Cam Boozer in my face. I'm not shooting that.
Here, nigga.
So he threw it back to the freshman. The freshman's well, damn.
But mind you,
there's only 2 seconds left.
Mind you, to be very fucking clear, that freshman didn't hesitate, didn't take a breath, didn't look around the room. He said, from the logo!
The logo, dog. The logo.
The March Madness. The March Madness
logo. That is not an exaggeration from the motherfucking logo. He
was on the bottom corner. You know how the March Madness is a circle and then has March Madness? He was on the bottom corner.
And then all you heard was...
You hear the net? He enjoyed
from the TV.
I almost crashed the car, bro.
I almost crashed the car. I know I'm really animated right now. I am not a super animated person. I'm screaming. I'm screaming. Oh my God.
And I'm not watching, obviously, because I'm operating a motor vehicle.
Yes,
so I'm just
listening. Being safe.
I'm just listening. And I'm going around the turnaround as this is happening. And all we hear is, and
we're what? Oh God! Shout out to the DFW airport, because if it wasn't so big, we would have been on the highway.
And that
would have been bad for everyone involved.
We were meant to be there. It was a bad day to be a Duke fan yesterday, man. It was a bad day to be a Duke fan. A great day to be a UConn fan.
What did they say? UConn has the distinct pleasure of...
yes. UConn has to... There's a tweet that's going viral right now that UConn has the task of beating both God and the devil. And because the UConn women's played Notre Dame and they played Duke.
Blue Devils. Oh,
it was a beautiful day to be a UConn fan. It was a horrific day to be a Duke fan.
I just want to give, to end our 2-minute report, I want to give credit to sports photographers because they do not get the love that they deserve. One of the hardest pictures I have seen in a very long time is this freshman at the logo with his hands in guns. Oh.
This is why you watch March Madness.
And this is why you watch men's March Madness, even though you don't watch men's basketball any other time.
Just watch it.
What did I tell everybody? I will watch the men's starting in the Elite Eight. And then we get shit like this.
And here we are.
And last year, you watched it last year, and you get the other thing, which was Houston Duke. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. I know I just said that, but I have to say this, and then I promise you I'm done. We might need to ask some questions about Duke head coach because they've lost like 4 games since he's been there, and all of them have been double digits. He has now not even made it to the national championship with Cooper Flagg and Cam Boozer. Not even made. I get it. It's hard to win. Like, I'm not saying when you have those. You should have won with Cooper though. I'm not even gonna hold you.
No, T.
Because this year is crazy.
Cooper Flagga, that one. No.
This year is crazy, and there's like 3 players who deserve it. But Cooper Flagg is the best prospect that who's come into the league in a very long time, not including Wemby. But so let me say this better. Cooper Flagg is the best player who has entered the league from college.
Yes.
And at least 10 years. And you don't win one. You don't even make it to the Natty. So we might have to have some. We won't have the questions because we're not going to talk about men's college basketball that much.
Yeah,
but someone might need to ask questions about Duke because how do you not even make the Natty with Cam Boozer and Cooper Flagg in back-to-back years? I don't know, but shout out to Brady.
We have to have a conversation
Mullins.
about Duke's non-con. That's really what this is about. Because you play the non-con games because you don't want to end up in situations that Duke has been in multiple times because you're playing nobodies in non-con. Because LSU has the same problem. Yeah. Stop playing nobodies in non-con. That's why the fuck y'all got the 1,600-point games or whatever. But then when it came down to it.
On the other side, this is probably Dan Hurley's worst UConn team, and they're the only team who in the tournament has had to play the highest seed at every time. Because there was hella upsets. So they played the 1 seed, they played the 2 seed, and I don't remember the other seed that they played, but it was the highest possible seed. They were the only team that didn't play anyone that got upset. Yep. Like they played the winners all the way through and they beat Duke. So
it's looking like, I think I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think we are primed for a year where UConn is going to make a clean sweep of the basketball championships. Shout out to the coaches at UConn.
I think I saw that this was the 4th year or the 5th year that the men's and women's UConn has been in the Final Four at the same time, which is just a stupid fucking stat. That is
UConn is the basketball school of the United States.
What are we talking about?
UConn is the basketball school of the United States. I don't give a fuck about no Dukes, no Kentuckys, no Kansases, no nothing. UConn is the basketball school of the United States.
I will say slightly selfishly as a Big Ten fan and a Midwesterner, which I want Illinois to win because the Big Ten has not won a national. The Big Ten has not won a national championship in basketball in 26 years. I will never, ever, in the love of God of anything, root for Michigan. But also, in my humble opinion, Illinois is the last state in the Midwest. I don't know what the fuck Iowa is. I don't know what the fuck. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Illinois is the last state in the Mideast. Because we are actually the Mideast, not the Midwest. Illinois is the last state in the Mideast. And then Iowa, Nebraska, and all the other shit. I don't know what the fuck. Culturally, we are not the same. So I would be happy if Illinois wins. But if it is not Illinois, I would love the UConn clean sweep. Personally.
He just had to get that out because it's going to be.
Come on. Like, I don't always.
Who gives a fuck about that?
But also, what are you talking? Don't. Thank you. That's out the mud. We got Rashad McCants.
Sorry, I'm just kidding. We love the Big Ten.
This is the Power 2 podcast. Our first of hopefully many live episodes.
Us sitting on the same couch. Yes, it's very thrilling.
We'll catch you next week. And we will be at Trifecta again. We did not forget about Dante.
Yes.
We will be back.
I think
that's it.
Bye, guys.